Hi, welcome to Red Barrels Explode. Today we're having a check back in on Dota 2. In the pilot seat, as usual, is Chris.
Hello.
And Kev. And you've been playing this for about a month now since we last looked at it.
Yep, about 151 hours, I think.
Yeah, which is a hell of a lot for any game.
Yeah, a lot of it though is watching the International 2015 in the client because they give you the commentaries and things like that as well, which I find very beneficial.
That comes through the game as well?
Yeah, you get to watch it just in the game.
Yeah, but the commentary's in there too?
Yeah. You get to... There's like a list you can kind of click on. So you've got Korean, Russian, English.
Wow.
I
assume there's
think
Chinese as well.
Yeah.
China is big on Dota.
Yeah.
To the point where there is a sort of a shorthand for a certain playstyle called a Chinese Dota.
Right.
Or it's actually, apparently it's also called Rat Dota.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly what the strategy is, but I think people disapprove of it because it's, I guess, for spectators, it's quite boring. I think it's very much just sort of being slow and methodical and almost trolling people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's been about a month since you first started this. What have you learned?
What have I learned?
What expectations that you had before have been subverted?
Sorry, Rick's just going off in the background. I did buy the Rick and Morty announcer pack, which is a fairly recent edition. But what was the question? Sorry, I got distracted by Rick.
What preconceptions had you had before that have now been sort of turned on their head, or how is it different than you thought it was going to be?
One, it's not as easy as I thought initially. Not that I thought it was like particularly easy, but I thought, if you get like the basics, like last hitting and things like that, it reminds me a lot of sort of Magic the Gathering, where it's a lot about like learning what the other characters can do. So now a lot of characters are constantly picked, so you can kind of learn them. But if somebody just randomly picks a character that you don't know what they do, it can be quite a harsh learning curve.
Things come out of nowhere that you're not expecting, and suddenly you're dead.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so it seems like it shares a lot with, say, like a fighting game or something in that regard.
Sort of knowing the special abilities.
Knowing the tells and stuff, and looking at someone going, well, he's about to do this.
Yeah.
Like, let's say in a fighting game, well, he's about to do this rising uppercut. If I crouch and hold back, I'll be able to block that kind of thing. Or if I move over, I guess in Dota terms, it's, well, this is going to attack this area. Maybe I should stand over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, the thing is just being sort of aware of what they are capable of as well as what you're capable of. And then, playing... do you play aggressively or like team play as well, like knowing what you're... Obviously we're just playing against bots here and I'm already messing up
for the sake of simplicity.
But basically, like,
I steal from the slow.
Depending on who I'm playing with and their sort of play style, a lot of the time I will, instead of last hitting, I'll just deny our creeps. So like,
that's killing your own guys.
Killing your own guys so they don't get the gold for it. Which kind of gives you, like, staying in your lane the whole time sort of gives you this, like, slight advantage. Now, the other thing that I've come to kind of, like, learn and love about this game is that it doesn't sort of matter. You could be having a really bad game and everything could be going really wrong, but you can still bring it back. Even if the other team's like higher levels and they've had better farm and they've bought better gear, you can slowly like just work your way back if you work really well as a team. Which is hard because I only know like one other person that plays this game, so like you're playing that sort of like level of coordination with strangers, which is quite nice.
Yeah, have you found working with strangers for it to actually work?
Yeah, sometimes it's really good. Like you use these sort of like really simple like pings to kind of tell people like where the enemy are, or this basically draws their attention to the map and then you see what they're pinging about. Or people will occasionally like draw on the map.
Okay,
that
so does that show up for everybody?
That shows up for my team, yeah.
Okay.
So you kind of have all these like little ways that you can kind of communicate, or you can do it like via voice if people have microphone. Now, the majority of the time it's been fine.
Yes.
Some of the time it has been completely fucking toxic.
Internet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like...
it's a free game on the
Yes,
internet.
yeah.
It is ubiquitous. So you're going to get a lot of just general people who want to play a free game playing a game, or people who get, I guess it's easier to get into this for a lot more people just because it's free.
Yeah.
And you're going to get, as you do on every single open forum on the internet, you're going to get that kind of person.
Yeah.
I guess also because of what you said with the emphasis on teamwork, it becomes so much more important to people that you're doing the thing you need to be doing.
Exactly. People get very frustrated, but I think the problem, or a problem with it is that a lot of people will just get immediately hostile.
Like if
rather,
they think you're not doing
yeah,
the thing they
or
want.
like, you know, you die and the like start typing, you know, whatever, and you're kind of like, no, it hasn't happened to me in a long time. And for clarification, I am not playing this game. I'm just showing you, showing Kevin what it sort of like looks like essentially, again. But like at the start, people would say something, and you know, like, oh, you're doing this wrong, but they wouldn't tell you what to do right.
It wasn't
So,
constructive criticism.
Yeah,
it was
it's
just criticism.
like, you're a fucking idiot, and it's like, oh, thanks. That's very helpful.
Like, why am I an idiot?
Yeah.
What can I do to not be an idiot?
And the amount of times since then I've been playing with people and like somebody on my team has been calling somebody else an idiot, and I've just had to like stop what I'm doing, and you know, like hit enter to bring up the team speak and type in just like, could you please stop calling him an idiot and tell them what they're doing wrong and how to help them, and you get no fucking response because nobody cares, and you're like, it's just that really petty sort of, I don't know, that annoys me, but it doesn't happen every match. Like it happens every so often, so it's definitely, you'd get it in any multiplayer game, so it's not a make or break thing.
I have not put on a headset in Xbox Live for 6 years, maybe. The only time I have ever done that would be if I was playing with you.
Yeah.
So I could talk to you. I would never, ever use the public chat or anything like that. If I'm playing Call of Duty, the first thing I do at the start of a match is mute all. Every time, especially in Advanced Warfare recently, it defaults to just public chat. So you can hear everything anyone says in your team, and anyone on the other team who's close to you, you can hear them. You have to mute them.
Right.
Every single match, it's just square, triangle, right. Not going to listen to this. So yeah, I mean, that's not something that's unique to this game.
No.
Yeah. But I have heard, because of the emphasis on strategy and teamwork, and
there is a lot of
nuance.
strategy and teamwork, and a lot of, like, you know, you misclick and it fucks up a whole team fight for everybody else, because you know, they were expecting you to do this one very simple thing and you fucked up.
Like you're like a healer or something, and they're waiting for you. They're staying in the fray, waiting for you to heal them at the right moment so that they can win, and then you unleash some kind of attack instead, and then walk away.
So they might, like, this is why I've sort of been playing this character, Bloodseeker, is because he is essentially like, he's got very simple things to do, you know, and he's kind of, and I was talking to streamers online, and they were, you know, kind of like giving me tips and things as well, and Twitch is a great community for this as well. Finding streamers that maybe don't have hundreds of people watching them, and you have a chance to actually have a conversation with them.
You're not so much shouting in a crowd at that point.
Yes, you actually talk, and that way the community is quite good. But it's weird without actually having to sit, because I can't play and talk at the same time. The amount of times Teresa's come in to like ask me if I want a cup of tea, and I'm just like, I can't answer that right now.
I'm busy.
I'm playing a game. And so I can't give you a fair showing, if that makes sense. But like, just like little things like these wards that I popped that one down at the start, and they slowly time out.
What does it do?
It shows this area. It just it takes away the fog of war for
it's
this
like
area.
A camera.
Yeah. So like
spy.
Yeah. So like, and there's
there
just it's just died. So like, warding, pinging when you see something happening to alert your teammates, chatting to people on the team speak, and then just sort of like getting over the fact that it's not necessarily about you getting all the kills or you doing this, that, or the other thing. It's very much like my team, and the more you kind of get into that, the more you kind of feel quite proud when somebody on your team does something really cool,
Yeah.
or like,
Yeah.
or you're able to help them and get the kill, and it's sort of, it's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like the more you play, the more you get out of it. Because I was sort of worried, you know, it's one map. It's, you know, I'm playing with the same dude over and over and over again just to kind of get used to him, and it hasn't got boring yet. Like that, you know, even though I'm playing the same guy, because you constantly get a little bit better.
Yeah.
So there is always like this room for improvement.
You're
as well.
finding
It's
out
not-
more about your character the more you play it.
Yeah.
And that's maybe where the interest lies, is learning and then using their knowledge.
Yeah, because then you've got all the shop stuff as well. So like, what items work well with whatever build you're trying to go
Okay.
for, or that sort of thing. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of layers and a lot of strategy, and a lot of people play it in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing you're probably, as far as I can tell, you're always going to find a match.
Yes,
You're never going to be sitting there waiting, and then all of a sudden it just times out or says.
Yeah.
It doesn't sub in bots or anything, does it? Or anything like that when you're playing online?
No. They it seems to, like, if somebody's connection goes, like their character will stay here in their base and just stand there. No, the other team, like their teammates, can take control of it. But because they're busy trying to do their own thing, they're only going to do that when they die. So the character isn't leveled up. So by the time they're running him out into the fray,
Okay, so he is still technically functional.
yeah.
Alright, see, because I was under the impression that he would just disappear and then you'd just be at a disadvantage. And I suppose you are still
You're
at a
still at a
disadvantage.
huge
Yeah.
disadvantage. No, the problem is as well is people will, like, I think it's like F9 to pause. People will, like, their team will, you know, one of their team will disconnect, so somebody will pause it, and then like it's happened a lot where it's like my team, you know, whoever they are, all strangers, but you know, my team nevertheless, will be like, you know, what the fuck, you know.
Aye. And then they'll do the same thing, will they?
Well, they'll try to like force an unpause or something, and you're like, don't be a dick. Like, you're just trying to force the advantage here. Like, just wait the 1 or 2 minutes that it's going to take for this person to come back.
So, can anyone pause an online game at any time?
I think so, yeah.
Is there a
I've
limit?
never tried to pause it, to be honest.
You've never been brave enough to push that button?
I will just hold my bladder till the end of the match.
Fair enough.
Because you can't pause it for that long anyway.
Yeah.
It does seem to just be...
Was
'cause
the timeout?
I think, like, the other team, if everybody hits the same button, they can force, like, an unpause.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've seen it happen once.
I like how the clouds are still moving even though it's paused. You can see the shadow of the clouds moving along the ground. That's quite nice.
Oh, yeah.
Can you zoom in and out and stuff while it's... Because you can still move around the map and all.
Yeah, you can
Everything's
kinda-
just frozen. It's not actually paused.
Yeah.
That's great.
So
That's quite nice. I like
pretty
that.
cool. So yeah, the other thing that I love about the game is just the look and the feel of it, which I liked at the start, but it's. I think at the start you didn't really have time to sort of appreciate how it all looks whilst you're playing,
Because you're in too much of a panic all the time.
Yeah. So like the more kind of slow confidence you get, I guess, I don't know if that's the right thing. Another thing that I kind of find is that, like, just when you find a good team that are like willing to help and everybody's like trying to win the match rather than trying to be the best person on the team kind of thing, it works really well. Like, you do have these kind of sort of little fun moments where you kind of, I don't know, just everything works. You know, the synergy works really well, and everybody.
People are playing their class.
Yeah,
as they say. Yeah.
So I'm by no means any good at this game yet. Like, I think that's probably about another 1,000 hours away or something.
Yeah, the numbers I've heard of people like time wise are
Yeah.
astronomical.
Yeah.
Especially like when you look at the best players and the kind of people who go to the international and compete. And like they are counts that you kind of, it's almost baffling how someone has the time.
Well, see, I think for those people, they've made the decision
Committed it to it, yeah.
that that's their job. You know, like, that's what they do.
Yeah, which it can be now in a way if you're that good, because the international prize pool this year was insane.
Yeah.
I think was it the top team? They each came out after, like, and they didn't pay any tax on this either. They came out each with over $1 million each when they won.
Yeah, I think that the top 6, I think in the top 16, I think the lowest you could walk away with as a loser in the top 16 teams was like 51 grand or something.
Yeah,
Now that's between like 5 people, and you've probably got a manager and a coach, and you've got your wherever you train, or whether it's still at home or whether you've got, I mean, a lot of them live in like training houses and that sort of thing. So like it's going to cost a lot. You got to be winning quite a few tournaments a year, and that's now obviously the top teams. It was millions.
Aye.
So like they weren't that. I don't think they're that short on cash, but it seems it's weird. It's definitely a weird sort of game and subculture and everything else. Like everything, if you're not sort of into it, it takes a while to sort of like figure it all out.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not something you've engaged in, it's obviously going to be difficult to understand it.
Yes, very, very.
I mean, like, I personally haven't played this. I've played Warcraft 3, the game that it was originally a mod of and stuff, but that doesn't really prepare you for how you really play the game. The important. I mean, it gives you the basic mechanics of, I know I have to click this guy around and he has these abilities, and obviously I have to win by destroying the other team's stuff. But that's about as far as it goes from that kind of thing. Whereas, once you start hearing people like yourself talking about this and the way you have to interact with other players and know what they can do, their characters and stuff.
Even to be honest, just knowing tournament, like ganking is like people going around, like so.
Yes, ganking. I believe we talked about this in the last one about how ludicrous it is that they're using that word.
Yeah.
But what do they mean specifically by ganking?
So like, say I was here on the map, and I went round to basically attack this enemy player with my 2 teammates sort of there. Like you're flanking, so you're just like you're purposely going up to kill somebody. I think that would be how I interpret it anyway. Is that your teammates are going to gank whoever, and you know that they're all going to.
So they're ganging up, basically.
Yeah, essentially.
Because as far as I could, I mean, was it?
It's maybe like gang flanking. I don't know.
Yeah,
it
it was
sounds
easy.
so weird.
He used to say it all the time when he was talking about stabbing people. So, I don't know. I mean, that's where that word I think initially came from him specifically. So it's
easy.
Easy. He's a big Dota player, like. Yeah.
But to be honest, I mean, I would say install it, play it, give it a go. Try not to get put off.
Yeah, it costs you nothing.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's free. Like, I mean, I have bought a courier for like 65p or something.
Was it the oil on the skateboard?
No, it's the.
I just heard about that this morning.
I got. I'll show you actually. I'll show you if I can. Yeah, so these are things that I've sort of like won, or like that you open. So I got the Rick and Morty announcer pack. I bought this little HUD skin, and then this little dude,
Coco.
Just because he's a red panda with a tray, like that's fucking adorable.
He is adorable.
So I don't know if we talked about this in the last one. I don't know.
I think we saw him. He was definitely he was definitely about.
So that's sort of like, this is that's
where you're at.
Yes, this is where I'm at. I think maybe in another 200 hours or something, I'll record some game footage and then we can talk over it. I think it's probably going to be the easiest thing. Yeah,
and then you can tell me what you've learned then.
Yeah. Oh, so like he's the teammate's saying roaming to top gank. So he's roaming up top to gank, and then he's immediately said, no, actually I'm going back to mid.
Okay. So even the bots are using the term gank.
Yeah, which is how I've kind of slowly come to understand what it actually means. And then pings, like you will get, there's a really frustrating thing that will happen in a match where like somebody will like ping, to be like, he's there, whatever, but then they'll, like, no one will pay attention because like other people are obviously doing other things. Like everybody's got their own stuff to deal with as well, and they'll just start doing this, and
like help, yeah, that kind of thing.
And it's just like, okay, I don't,
it's just like a desperate cry for attention.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird, but
that's great.
Yeah, the Rick and Morty thing is fantastic. Yeah. But just so check in again in another 150 hours. And we'll see
it's a date. Yeah. Thank you very much for letting me know what you think you know, and we'll find out next time what you were completely wrong about.
Yes.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.